In today's video, we're going to talk about the scandalous and very deceitful bank branch closures, which is spreading everywhere. It's not just in the USA and Canada, it's also in the UK, Europe, and many other Western nations. Banks made huge profits in 2021, just enormous sums of money. And this year and over the last 6 months or so, they have been paying out record bonuses. I mean, some of these bonuses are unheard of, the sort of numbers that we're talking about here. And we haven't seen bonuses like this since, guess when? The Great Recession, the sort of '08 crisis period. Yet again, another pattern here. So don't buy into all of this nonsense propaganda that all the banks are putting out. We'll go over some of the reasons. I've highlighted them here. What they're saying are the reasons for their closures. It's all absolute nonsense. Don't believe any of it. So what's the hustle here then with these bank closures? Well, very clever, because the public obviously isn't very intelligent according to the banks. They put up a sign on the outside of the branch, a notice saying that it is a temporary closure. Of course it's temporary, of course. Temporary that never reopens. The reason, you know, I don't need to tell you, you know what the reason is on the bottom of all of these signs. Due to health concerns. We are doing it to stop the spread of COVID. Of course they are. Of course that's the reason. You really think that banks are closing their branches in order to stop the spread of COVID? Absolute nonsense. All they care about is profit. So let me read out their mandate then, or one of the mandates. They're different for each branches. Ensuring that everyone has access to banking facilities remains our top priority. So that's their mandate. Well, that's a lie. If that were true, they wouldn't be closing so many of these branches. Number two, removing branches encourages, and they've actually put this in bold on their websites. I'm sure there's no conspiracy there where they've all put it exactly the same in bold. Those online banking hesitants, so they're trying to encourage people who don't like online banking to move online with the rest of the public. Could they be any more insulting and patronizing? Again, this isn't accurate, it's not true. So imagine you've got an 80 or an 85-year-old relative, parent, grandparent or something. There's just no way that those people who don't own a laptop and don't own a smartphone, some of them, are suddenly going to go out, oh, let me get a laptop. Let me get one of these new iPhones or Samsungs or Google or something smartphone. Let me learn it, and then let me learn all this online banking and figure all this out. No, it's never going to happen. This is, again, a lie. It is not true. So let's go to the third most popular reason then, and I quote, bank branches are profit-losing entities and add no additional value to the business bottom line. Yes, that's partly true, but what happens is the older people who are generational savers, they have saved their whole lives into those branches, into those banks. When they close, how do they then get access? Try going and asking for your cash. Just try this as an experiment here. Go into branch and ask to remove your cash. Good luck, because they won't let you do it. That cash is stuck in there. I've heard some crazy stories. Actually, I had a client in Australia, a lady. She was only allowed to withdraw a maximum of $1,000 per day, and she had millions in there. There was no way for her to get it out. They wouldn't let her transfer it out because it was a special type of savings account. Look, ladies and gents, I've said this so many times. The banks are not your friends. They are not there to serve you and to help you. They are parasites. Now, I'm not talking about the people who work in the branches. I have nothing against those people. I know lots of those people, usually very, very nice people. But guess what? Those jobs are going to go next as well. Why do you think they are getting the branch staff to train people on these machines and how to use the machines in branch? That's stage one. These people are training their replacements. They are training people to replace them. Stage two will be they'll close the branches entirely after people have gotten more used to doing this online banking. They don't care about the people in the rural communities. They don't care about the elderly people who just don't have access to any of these facilities, like to deal in cash. They don't care about any of these people. The banks only care about them when they've got all their money in there. Well, they're giving you 0.1% interest. Yeah, they care about you keeping the money in there, but they won't let you take it out. So the banks are not heroes here. They are the ones that are benefiting from all of your capital in those savings accounts. It doesn't just sit there. They take that cash and they use it for investments to make huge profits. How much profits, you may ask? Well, According to some statistics here, bank cash reserves have exploded from 13.3 trillion in 2020 to 18.1 trillion as of January of 2022. That is an increase of 40%. 40%. How much have your wages gone up by? US banks collected 6.13 billion in overdraft fees just in the last month. And I'm going to add this to this, from a public who are broke and in massive debt. This is just a generational wealth transfer. They are taking the money from the poorest and the middle class, and they are simply transferring it to the banking elite, which is the wealthiest people on the planet. Surely you can see this. During what they're calling the worst, most deadly pandemic in the whole of human history. No mention of the Black Plague or any of these others. This is the most deadly, it's global, it's this. Somehow, the banks and the elite have managed to increase their wealth, their money, all of their assets by huge amounts, while the middle class have just shrunk and have lost a lot of their assets. And we won't even get into the poorest in society with the standard of living and inflation and everything. This is just an absolute scandal. Let's jump over to the US then here, because the OCC head has said these US banks can't use the pandemic as a reason to ramp up branch closures. Because of course, this is what they're saying, that we need to close all these branches so that we're not contributing to the pandemic. Well, guess what? It's not even a pandemic anymore. They're calling it an endemic. And they've just dropped all the measures in a lot of countries. UK has no measures. So many countries now just have no measures. What other excuses are they using? They are saying that no one's using these branches. Again, it's not true. Even though a lot of banking can now be done online, an FDIC survey found that 83% of people still met with a teller or other bank employee at least once during 2019. That same year, more than 40% of rural customers made at least 10 visits to the banks. That's almost monthly. Let's jump over to Canada then. So here we go. On the strength of a combined 57.4 billion in profits, the Big Six are paying out 18.8 billion in bonuses. So this was just before the holidays then. But look, 15.2 billion in 18, 15.6 billion in 19, 16.2 billion in 2020. I thought we were supposed to be in the height of a pandemic and finance was tight and crashing. A little bit suspicious there. Look at this then. Here we go. Next article. Bankers collect their biggest bonuses since the financial crisis, and as the M&A breaks $5 trillion record. What about Goldman Sachs? Again, Goldman Sachs increased its annual bonus pool for top performing investment bankers by 40 to 50%. This is insane. JP Morgan Chase, the largest US bank, increased its annual bonus pool for top performing investment bankers by 30 to 40%. Sources with direct knowledge of the matter said. Of course, guess what? Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan declined to comment. How so many of these banks and financial institutions were able to get access to all of this pandemic, relief funds and all of this over the last 2 years is beyond me when we now look at the figures. Again, this is just one big club and we ain't in it, as the expression goes. They are simply doing a huge wealth transfer from the poor and middle classes into the elitist class. This whole thing that I covered with the Great Reset and the banking sector and everything there that was a conspiracy theory according to the BBC, I was a conspiracy theorist, it's all playing out day by day. Just look into this stuff for yourself. This is just, I have nothing more to say on it. I mean, I'm so infuriated by these numbers and by all of this that I've been researching today that I'm just very disappointed. But I do appreciate all of you as subscribers. Thank you for watching my videos, clicking the like button, subscribing, sharing, doing all the stuff you normally do. I'm going to have a couple of very interesting videos coming out over the next couple to few weeks. Yet again, I've uncovered another conspiracy. That's what they're going to call it. I think you're going to like it. If you liked my Great Reset video, you're going to like this next video I've got coming out soon. All right, take care. God bless. See you soon.